So it's been a long time, and sorry that we couldn't upload it sooner. Um, Life's happening. Been busy. I have been really busy. Not my friend. He has been pushing me to upload the episode, but I couldn't. But here's the new episode. Please enjoy.
You're listening to Thinking Out Loud, where two buddies nip it right in, ranting over topics about humans and their humanities and sometimes their lack thereof. Topics as diverse and colorful as their race and humor that tickle their curious, peculiar bones. And would yours too if you think along. One's a budding psychologist, and another's a psychological case. Hop in the whirlpool of worldly ventures. You're invited.
So, as a continuation from the previous episode, today in this particular part, we enter the technology and games and movies and techs and gadgets and apps all into this, and we look into the past, the present, and the future of all these techs, gadgets, apps, how it has been affecting us, how in both in personal and social context, the present experiences that we have had, so that we'll be sharing, and in terms of the future aspect, how these things are going to be helpful, or might or might not have, like we'll try and discuss both the negatives and positives. So we'll also see at the ways it will be affecting us in negative ways. And so one way of tackling this, what we have suggested here or what we are discussing in this, is to be mindful about how we use all these equipments for for the lack of it, I think, sustainably using all these equipments. So for our own benefit, and yeah, so we'll be having a discussion around all these topics and concepts in this particular part. I hope you enjoy it. Oh yes, before going into that, a short segment from our sponsors, and then you'll get to the podcast. Thank you.
The zone reminds me of that movie, Walter Mitty.
Okay, I've not seen that, but it is Ben Stiller.
Yes, yes, yes. Watch it. It's a fun movie. He gets into his
I will.
zone.
So, if you see the way video games technology is already getting into your real world, art first got into it, movies. There was a time when if people wanted to see, like they wanted to view news, they had to go to a theater. And if you
Oh,
see this movie
never
called
knew
King's
that.
Speech, if you see this movie called King's Speech,
Ah, ha,
he's
ha, ha,
watching
ha.
he's watching Hitler's speech in a theater in a projector room, right?
Correct,
It,
correct.
it was lavish. पहले तो रात radio recording या newspaper, but
Hmm, hmm,
ये
hmm.
movie पे जाना. And then there was उस time पे there was this movie called Battleship Ptolemy, which was by a Russian movie. And
Hmm, hmm.
after watching that movie, some German guy who was तभी Hitler was in power. He looks at it and he's very impressed. He's like, the power of this movie to influence people. It is considered one of the greatest movies. And look at the time when it was, when movies had just come out. And if you wanted to watch a movie, you didn't have a lot of choice. आज तो कितना choice है, you can choose whatever you want to watch. लेकिन तभी एक ही movie एक time पे आ रहा है. And there is perhaps only one theater which is for the entire community, and you have to go and watch it over there. And because it is so nayab and unique, people will want to go and watch, particularly whom? The middle class, the ones who have money to see,
Ah, ha.
right? So one movie could influence so many people because almost everybody is going to watch it. These are the people who have some kind of social power, and एक ही theater है, एक ही movie आ रहा है एक time पे. You see that influence of movies at that time. अभी भी influence हो सकता है बहुत, लेकिन it is a lot scattered. There could be a neighbor of yours who's only watching Bhojpuri, and another neighbor who's only watching Japanese
No offense
mangas.
to our Bhojpuri friends.
No offense to them, but we are offended by them.
Again, no offense by that comment also. To our Bhojpuri friends. Anyways,
I don't
continuing.
think they'll listen to. I don't think they'll listen to our podcast. But yeah, mentioning our Japanese friends there, who are all into Ghost in the Shell and Titan Attack of Titans, वगैरह.
Ghost in Shell, Titan Attack on the Titans, and Tentacle Pond.
we could be living in the same hostel, in the same housing society, and we all could have very different preferences and niche of entertainment, and even news for that matter, content.
I agree with you. The
If you see video
exposure was
games,
very less then. We have a choice now, a lot more than what
a
we
lot of
are
choice,
old.
and there is content being spewed out and spit out so much. Today we are in that video game era जहाँ पे भी बहुत सारे आ रहे हैं साथ साथ, but whenever there is a new technology, a particular game will catch on a lot. The way Pokemon Go caught on, क्योंकि AR था, it was augmented reality. Remember? And virtual reality में again a particular game will catch on a lot. Again जब PUBG पहले शुरू हुआ होगा या role play पहले शुरू हुआ होगा, a particular game caught on a lot, and particularly in a advanced country, in a developed country जिसको उतनी फुर्सत है. जब निंटेंडो के पहले गेम बॉयज आए थे, तो उन्हीं में जो गेम्स होते थे वही लोग खेल पाते थे, क्योंकि निंटेंडो का गेम बॉय होना कितना बड़ा ये था तभी 1990s में, right? So today if virtual reality becomes sort of very virtual and augmented reality becomes a household thing, and it will definitely. Oculus है, Microsoft का है, वो Facebook का है,
अरे Steam का VR भी तो है. Steam also has
Steam
their
का
own
VR,
yes.
Google का VR, Google Lens.
Google Lens,
and there is
Google something,
okay.
something
Sorry.
was there.
And
Google
then there
Lens
is
तो मेरे
this one
phone में है
also.
अभी.
Yeah, Ron. There's this periscope and other thing called GoPro.
GoPro तो camera है, but yeah, and I can see.
You understand. If I could be in a role play game जहाँ पे मेरा GoPro भी चल रहा है और VR भी चल रहा है, तो तुम भी वो देख सकते हो जो मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैं भी वो देख सकता हूँ जो तुम देख रहे हो, और हम एक real time augmented reality game खेल रहे हैं. It'll be virtual augmented, it'll be mixed reality. You must have heard of that, MR, mixed reality.
What was that movie? Latest वाला Spielberg का. Was a
Alita?
No. Wait. It was a gaming वाला thing.
I think yeah, racing पे था क्या?
नहीं. It was an animated one. Ready Player One.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, Ready Player One, so whatever you mentioned. So that is again a futuristic world where you are an avatar, which is you are wearing a VR and all those VR stuff, and you are inside.
But you're seeing real time stuff.
Yes, you are actually seeing
Real-time
real time shit.
So it's more like, it's not augmented, it's VR. But mixed reality, you see augmented and virtual. You are immersed. Yeah, you are immersed. You are wearing that. But you're seeing augmented stuff also immediately. And इससे मेरे को और दो movies याद आते हैं. एक तो है वो Real Steel जिसमें Avatar, robotic Avatar, you boxing.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, awesome film. And there's this other film, बहुत पहले का, उसका relation नहीं लगेगा तेरे को, but I'll link it now. It's called Deja Vu by Denzel Washington.
देखा है.
He goes to another. Abhi he is trying to access a previous time जहाँ पे एक bomb blast हुआ था. So he's trying to see the events that happened before that incident. So there is this one scene जहाँ पे वो one way traffic जो है उसके एकदम विपरीत जाता है, उसके एकदम उल्टा जाता है. And एक side से वो real time देख रहा है, दूसरे side से he's looking at that past time. उस past time में he's chasing somebody else, I think, and that road is empty. But either road is completely full and he has to take his SUV और सारे गाड़ी को dodge करके जा रहा है. So that kind of thing. You'll see those kind of games probably not so dangerous, but yeah. And maybe you will even immerse in your day-to-day activities. You could drive a car. अभी टेस्ला के सेल्फ ड्रिवन कार्स, गूगल के सेल्फ ड्रिवन कार्स, you could drive a car sitting in your house. Again, surrogate scenario or full dive scenario.
I am very pessimistic about that future. I
It doesn't have to happen though. We should be a more awakened human beings, not getting so dependent. I'll talk about that. There is this other. I was just reading about Adobe's community fund and
Mhm.
how Adobe has this creative residency program. Just this one girl got selected who's making technology which should not be a crutch but a help to human beings. She's
Okay.
making design. That one thing, yeah. A mindful technology, wise tech, not just smart tech but wise tech.
Wise, correct. That should be the word.
That
Smart.
should be that is a word, by the way, which I coined. Wise tech.
You
Should be there.
coined, but that should be what it is. That's
It
smart
should be there.
because
Mindful use of technology, right?
because as we all know, as a psychology student, it is not what is important. It is not IQ that is very much important in later life, but it is IQ plus EQ, which is very much important for a person to survive in society, to understand
Yeah.
a person.
Emotion is our human side,
Exactly, and that is where
and that emotional
smart
needs are very
devices की
important.
जगह wise devices and the wise products should be more in
Those,
more
like you're
implemented.
saying,
Yes.
abhi social media to does do something about our social need, our emotional need.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we are being used against ourselves with this. And you know who was the pioneer of this? Truly, you would know that guy, Watson, who was a behaviorist.
Mhm.
Watson was the
James
pioneer of
Watson,
bringing psychology. Yeah, the guy who scared kids. Or was that Bandura?
the, the
No, that
the
was
the the
Bandura.
fur experiment. Yes.
For was that Bandura?
No,
No.
no.
Watson. It was
Bandura.
Watson.
Watson.
It
Bandura
was
was
Watson.
Bobo doll.
Babbo. Yeah. Again, we're gonna see a Bobo doll. Watson brought psychology into marketing, and then
Mhm.
marketing became such a big field of copywriting and all that, and how Ogilvy में थे and Mad Men and all that, and कैसे influence the person's emotions, bring them there. I remember this one advertisement. इस देश में पैसा सिर्फ पैसा नहीं है, and then there's that whole song. It was a bank. I think it was a bank ad.
I don't recall anything like that.
But appeasing the Indian psyche. पैसा सिर्फ पैसा नहीं है भाई. It is किसी को त्योहार में देने वाला चीज है पैसा, किसी के भावनाओं के साथ वाला है पैसा. So getting to the Indian perception, ये culture culture
Mhm.
collectivity and पैसा का value in त्योहार in our life. And there's this other thing about sex and marketing. Of course, arouse people's sexuality and get them at least to read about your product.
Mhm.
कार के सामने एक बिकिनी लड़की डाल दिया. Read about it at least.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan Peterson has mentioned this a lot.
Yes.
A red car with a girl wearing a red bikini. That is the best way to sell your product.
And even if it's for guys, if you're particularly approaching the macho guy, he'll
Mhm.
have a beard, he'll be in a black car, he'll be in a black suit or something.
That's
Sort of that,
yes.
right? He
The
has to look the
the the
macho.
collective the collective idea of macho.
Yeah, the collective idea of macho. जैसे एक time पे cowboy and sheriff and spitting and not being decent and anything, but only being chivalrous towards women, not towards each other.
Howdy, ma'am. With that southern accent. With that
Southern accent, Texan,
very
Texan
weird
thing.
southern accent.
All of this used in marketing, used in tech, used in getting us hooked. Rather, use tech to fulfill our material life, to be able to earn us money, to be able to participate well in society, and to be able to satisfy our emotional needs. And if our emotional needs are being hampered because of that technology should not be such a technology that it gets us addicted. It should
It
rather
should
help
not
us to
be
get out.
if there is such then it should be discontinued, something like that. Yes.
Yeah,
But
the way there
then
is
the
this app called.
question is, do we really need technology to be
No,
emotionally
we can't even
aware?
do that. It will be there. It is here to stay. It is here to even take us out of Earth in case some asteroid hits.
Agreed. Well,
Agreed, right? We need it.
we, are,
All
we
humans.
do need technology. In
the end, it was the technology which has brought us here. It was the technology of wheel that has made commuting, which made commuting from one place to another place easy for our ancestors. It was
That
technology.
is where it starts, na? The wheel of technology itself started that way.
So
And abhi tak idhar. And majority of it, we used to develop weapons.
correct, correct.
Weapons for
I
technology.
was
And
I
it
was
was,
I was going to come to that. It is the
right?
technology which has guarded our kingdoms and our culture and our society. It is
And
those
most
weapons.
importantly for the hunters and gatherers who
Hmm.
wanted to eat. जब एग्रीकल्चर नहीं था तो जानवरों को मारना पड़ता था.
Exactly. In the end,
And
yeah,
that's where
true.
technology came in firstly.
But
Because we
then,
don't have that ability to kill. So we had to
indeed,
depend
indeed,
on some.
it's all the only difference between technology then, technology now is how it was being used. The purpose of
So,
technology then was, how should I say? Uh, it is very cliche हो जाएगा, but it was just for the sake of that technology. जब उसका काम आता था तभी यूज होता था. As in, how I don't know how to say it. Mindful,
okay, so
I don't know.
it was not mindful.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
that's
what.
what. That's what. I'm not able to
Human beings,
use or give a
you,
particular word to describe it. Yeah, continue.
right. So I was talking about this app called Hinge, which is an app to be deleted. You don't get hooked to online chatting and dating. It is supposed to lead you to meet in real life and then delete the app. This is a good way. You use the app to do the real thing that it is meant for, to meet your social emotional need for intimacy. Go there, meet. App को delete कर दो.
तो मिलने के बाद
Because
डिलीट कर दो.
that is what you found, that person you are interested in, delete it or temporarily disable it.
Oh,
It's not meant.
oh, Hinge designed to be deleted. I never knew about this.
Yes. It is. You may start using it, dude. You should Bumble, Hinge, वगैरह use it. So
भाई
coming back
हमने
to this,
मैंने टिंडर ट्राई किया. टट्टी टट्टी आता.
coming
Tinder
back
is
to
equal
this,
to टट्टी. Anyways, yeah.
technology at any given time always was developed by some mind who saw the necessity and who could connect the dots, who had that intelligence. But then how lay people started using it. So it always depended on the people, and we could use it to protect ourselves from animals or to kill each other. We could use it to the same technology, just say sharpness technology. Suppose a weapon is designed in such a
A
way to be
sharp
sharp.
blade or a sharp stone. Let's take it for an
Now
example.
you could use it to till the earth, to
Hmm.
cut the wood, or to cut each other,
Hmm.
right? And if you
Correct, correct,
see,
correct.
the weapons were so advanced. The equipment used for gardening and all was never so advanced and did not. I don't think it has developed a lot. मेरे घर पे भी अभी भी वो axe एकदम basic axe है.
Hmm.
वो यूज हो सकता है, वो सेम हुआ होगा यूज बहुत हजारों साल पहले भी. बट इफ यू सी द वेपन, जैसे कलरी पैटू में यूज होता है, महाभारत में अर्जुन ने यूज किया होगा, एंड द ब्लेड्स वो जो एकदम बेंड होके वाक 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 मारते थे. एंड नाउ व्हाट वेपन्स हैव बिकम, if you see the budget that is there put for army development and not for infrastructure, for poverty development, कुछ नहीं, army के लिए जो development होता है. See, human beings जिनके भी पास power है, how they use, how the collective mind, how the psyche of the person in power, how they use science and how they build technology depends on them really. And virtual, same with video games,
Bro,
same
it's
with
not
the
just
technology.
not just power in terms of the material things. Power in terms of authority by command.
Authority,
By this is
command,
very
yes,
very. You will
on how they can
definitely you
influence
will
society.
it definitely influences you. It definitely affects you. It definitely corrupts you. No matter how much humble you are, the moment you get what the feel of that power, a human
So
being is
again,
too weak to
this
be
is
able to resist to that.
it's a
Yeah, continue.
it's a proverb by Lord Acton that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Definitely. I totally agree with to that.
But then I was
But,
reading about this
mm,
where it says that power corrupts the corruptible, or power corrupts the people who are not deeply aware and highly aware and conscious and deeply powerful. If you are like if you have met your deepest inner needs
mhm,
of of the emotions, and you have
Well,
known love and intimacy.
that is where the
I don't
question
think
arises. Are human beings that aware of themselves?
human beings can be aware of their actions and they can know where to draw the line. For that, they have to live very alertly. Again, technology should be used for helping people be more mindful, to dev- to like make more food production so that people's biological needs are met, to make apps like Hinge and all so that their community and intimacy need is met, to make all this technology जो internet का सबसे बड़ा use has been in business and क्या बोलते हैं employment and your income.
Beings, human beings are only going to take such decisions when they are given a choice between that is being mindful, and something which is terrible, something which is truly horrible, that will affect and keep will which will uh, stick. The image of that particular situation will stick to their head, because in the
So
end
if they were educated,
people, to be honest, people are innately very bad people. Human beings are very bad.
or rather they have that bad side, that unconscious side.
They have that bad side because they are bad, or they are bad, that is why they have that bad side. I have no idea.
So what you say by bad is an action. It's an action and an intention to hurt.
That is so. Then okay, I say bad in terms of the choices that they will be making later on.
Yeah, choice, intention, action,
Hmm.
decision, right?
Choice, yes.
But have you seen that people in in different mood, inner state?
Hmm.
Now there is something called paristhiti, and there's something called sthiti.
Mhm.
These were Sanskrit words. They basically
Understood.
mean
Understood.
event, event
Paristiti
and
is
experience.
situation, and sthiti is
Yes,
the
inner
particular
state,
state.
inner
State,
experience,
yes.
inner state, inner experience. So if you're in a state of aggression and you're in a
Mhm.
situation where you need to be aggressive,
Mhm.
you may do that. And if you're in a society which constantly triggers that,
Mhm.
of course there will be that inhuman side coming out. That inhuman side will start developing more. The
Mhm.
side of the brain which is related to aggression will develop more rather than the
तो
side related to empathy and altruism.
तो स्थिति, हमारी स्थिति परिस्थिति को कैसे बदल सकता है?
वो
या
भी है, परिस्थिति स्थिति को बदल सकती है, स्थिति परिस्थिति को. It's a loop, it's a spiral actually. It could be an upward spiral, it could be a downward spiral.
Mhm.
But there human consciousness comes in, human beings potential to be aware and learn from their past and learn from each other and
Mhm.
help each other. So you're going to do something and I come and stop you and help you. That human side. That is where apna psychological development is not happening in society the way technologies are. It is so important that these two things happen in parallel. And again, coming back to video games and
Psychological
entertainment.
development, yeah, the issue with current psychology is about, I'm not sure if it is an issue, or personally this is what I feel. The current psychology is too focused with the brain, whereas these issues of ethics and state of mind, which is what we are talking about right now, this is more into spiritual stuff. And
Okay, so do you think
spiritual stuff भी corrupt हो रहा है यार, to be honest.
do you think the human being can be divided into brain and spirit and psychology? They're all in one continuum. They're all one. You behave in a particular way, your brain spikes a particular part of the
It
brain.
is, but how people understand psychology is not in terms of spirituality. For them,
So
psychology means it is brain, whereas psychology should be combining both. Anyways, it's a debate
it,
for
but
it's a topic of debate for another talk. But yeah,
so
it could, and
that
it
could be.
has to be the person's choice. Uh, that is why a lot of very not a lot of maybe because of my own ignorance or not looking into it, but I have found very few such researches which mixes these two uh, different dimensions of psychology and spiritualism. There are very few.
It will
Because
have to be, it will have to be in the discourse of psychology. Spirituality cannot be a say. Spirituality has been started not by the West. It is really the gift,
uh,
the development of the Indian, Japanese,
East,
Egyptian, and
yes, it's
Chinese, right?
everything East.
You will have to look into that also, the contributions made by them,
Mm,
which is what positive psychology is doing now. That's
mm.
that whole movement into it. There is a movement I remember a course on Coursera called positive psychiatry. I never heard of it, but अभी वो भी आ गया है.
Positive psychiatry क्या है अभी?
More
I know.
humane, more like it is not just medicine administer kiya, but it is how humanely you dealt with that person in front of you who was going through something. It's not just to उसको हाँ diagnose कर दिया ये लेबल के हिसाब से medicine दे दिया. That's again ऐसे ऐसा science use होता है. But bring a more humane side to it, and I'll understand that they have a capacity to heal. The medicine is just aiding them to heal, but what will really heal them is this human-centered approach, this humane
Basically, Carl
interaction.
Rogers person-centered therapy.
Yes. All of that. Positive का तो
Mm,
father वही है. And we had this same talk in the previous podcast also,
mm.
right? So
Yeah.
coming back to this, coming back to technology and how we were talking about video games. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm particularly interested in is how video games can educate, and
Okay.
how like society as a whole needs to be educated in psychology from all these perspectives, from biopsychology, neuropsychology, psychospirituality,
What
psychohistory.
what human beings need right now is more into psychospirituality, because
Yes.
neuropsychology and biopsychology are available in a mass. There are a lot of stuff. There are a lot of
No, if
experiments.
it
There
should
are
be
a
a
lot
part
of
of your curriculum,
uh, uh, it should become part of curriculum, which
and
is
every perspective
compulsory
is
होना
taught.
चाहिए. Compulsory होना
होना
चाहिए.
चाहिए. It is part of curriculum. It is told you, and because you're
Mhm.
going into an increasingly technologized world, your
Mhm.
human side should not go. Please be more in touch
Mhm.
with it. That should be an approach.
Exactly.
And we could use technology for that, the way open courses are being used and the way gamification वगैरह वगैरह, so that they are using these principles of cognitive psychology to help you learn faster, help you
Yeah,
learn
yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
And they are using this side of social media so that you have social learning also. You learn and then you ask and you debate and you talk about it. Even you contribute, you make a video and you put it on that site.
Mhm.
ये भी हो सकता है. I'm just giving out some as a throwing out some ideas here.
I agree. So the reason, so okay, coming back to the point of neuropsychological, I was talking about neuropsychological and biopsychological education that you were talking. How it
Yeah.
is very much important. Even psychospiritual education should be made compulsory.
Mindfulness has been made compulsory in Finland. You know that? In schools in
I
Finland.
don't know about that. That's very
I think
new.
Finland or Britain. Plus, please check it. Please check. We'll put
Britain
that
तो
link
लगता
on.
नहीं है, but let me just check. But
Yeah,
anyways,
after Boris, I don't think.
the academic structure right now will definitely teach the neuro and the biopsychological. ये तो definite है, because that is what all the psychology books are about. But the psycho-spiritual stuff, since it is not scientific enough, people don't associate, or they don't make it a part of the curriculum, which
Perhaps they
should
don't
be.
understand its science. They don't understand how scientific it is.
Guys, thank you so much for sticking with us till the end of this episode. We'll come back with the final part for this episode, and I know it's been too long, and hopefully, you're still listening with us. Next episode will be coming soon. We are on it and we are in production of it. So keep listening to Thinking Out Loud, and thank you so much for the support that you are showing to us by listening to this podcast. Thank you so much. Keep listening to Thinking Out Loud.